speakers that we hope that are going to bring you good messages. And we're going to start out with Judy Brun. She is a wife, a mother of 3, and a grandmother of 4. She is past president of the Mercer County Right to Life, executive director of Teachers Saving Children, Inc. of Ohio. She is the board member of Teachers Saving, Inc. National. She's a speaker, a writer of 2 children's books, and she is an 11-year elected delegate to the NEA Representative Assemblies and a 12-year elected delegate to OEA Representatives Assemblies before filing a religious accommodation to get out of the Union. Judy?
Why would someone be speaking about the National Education Association Union at a 40 Days for Life event? Let me start by saying that during the last presidential election, NEA contributed $50 million to the campaign of Barack Obama, the most pro-abort president this nation has ever known. I don't know the amount the Teachers Union has contributed towards his campaign this time around, but you can be sure that it is an overwhelming sum once again. Many teachers in Ohio are Christians, many are conservative. Most, I would guess, have no idea of the position of NEA's position on abortion, nor of its position on other issues of morals and faith. But let me make it clear right now that while our nation was founded on Judeo-Christian values, the hierarchy of the NEA has all but abandoned them. The union people in power and liberal delegates at the yearly NEA rep assemblies have consistently opposed efforts of teachers of faith who stand up against NEA's position on abortion. I know because I was elected as a state delegate to the Ohio Education Association assemblies 12 consecutive years, and as a national delegate to NEA rep assemblies 11 consecutive years. My getting elected only happened because there are strong Christian conservatives in my region. It's this experience on the inside of the union, combined with much research, that showed me that NEA's connection with the abortion mentality is definitely pervasive in our country today. For years, some of my Christian delegate friends and I did what we could on the inside of the NEA in speaking out against abortion and for the lives of our future students. We would have been satisfied to have NEA adopt a policy of no position on abortion. What is the connection in the first place, you might ask? In I-17 of its resolutions document or beliefs document, NEA supports reproductive freedom, that smooth-sounding phrase that still fools some people, but which includes abortion on demand, the ungodly choice as to whether a baby comes out alive or dead. As a delegate at my first NEA rep assembly, I asked a 3-part question from the microphone about this noted phrase. Number 1, through the words reproductive freedom in our resolutions document, does the NEA support the choice to abort past the first trimester? The answer from the NEA chair was an immediate yes. My second question, through the words reproductive freedom in our resolutions document, does the NEA support the choice to abort after viability? And I spelled it out. That point at which the fetus is capable of surviving outside the womb with assistance. Again, the answer was an immediate yes. And my third question was, through the words reproductive freedom in our resolutions document, does NEA support the choice to abort up to and including birth, commonly termed by the media partial birth abortion? The chair, the president of the NEA, went back, spoke to chief counsel for about 1 minute, returned and said, we have no limitations. NEA's new business item 1990-65, and let me briefly explain, that means it was a new business item, or new business item number 65 in the year 1990, said this: NEA will oppose any efforts to erode the status of Roe v. Wade. In essence, NEA adopted a position of opposing any restrictions on abortion through this new business item. This NBI language became absorbed into NEA policy. In another NEA document, in a section entitled Action Plan for Sex Equity, it says that by lobbying members of Congress, by establishing and joining coalitions, or by supporting groups involved in civil rights litigation, the NEA will work to achieve and ensure reproductive freedom without government intervention. In that same NEA document, it says, by providing information and technical assistance to state affiliates, and therein comes OEA, the Ohio Education Association Union, the NEA will help them to lobby for legislation on, among other things, reproductive freedom without governmental intervention. Now let me explain just a little bit about some of the people who work in the NEA, or for the NEA, some of the officers, staff, and I'll give you just a little bit about the caucuses. The recently retired chief lobbyist of NEA, Randall Moody, was the co-founder of Planned Parenthood's Republicans for Choice, which you know goes against the National Republican platform, however. He was on the board of the Planned Parenthood Fund, that's Planned Parenthood's Political Action Committee, and he escorted women into abortion mills. I know, because I asked him about it, and he confirmed everything with no chagrin. His Catholic bishop in Nebraska tried to have him refuse communion, and some of his fellow Catholics tried to get him excommunicated, but didn't. Again, this is the man who led lobbying efforts for the National Education Association Union. Karen White used to work for Emily's List, a political organization whose purpose is to get only pro-choice women elected in the United States. Karen White now heads the political division of NEA. Christina Uribe, special assistant to the executive director of NEA, is a past board member of Emily's List and worked for a Planned Parenthood affiliate. In addition, leaders of the NEA Women's Caucus, along with leaders of NEA's Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender Questioning Caucus, continually band together and oppose pro-life efforts at the microphone at these NEA and the state affiliate representative assemblies. It's almost impossible for pro-life people to get elected to NEA offices too, because these two caucuses block the way. NEA activities. Late-term abortionist George Tiller spoke to the Feminist Majority Foundation in the NEA headquarters building and showed the audience slides of big babies he had aborted. When questioned by Undercover Students for Life members with a hidden video camera about abortions he had performed, Tiller said he had aborted babies even the day before their due delivery date. When the topic of babies aborted alive was brought up by the Students for Life undercover people, Tiller repudiated abortionists who let that happen, who let the babies be aborted alive. He called it just sloppy medicine. NEA HIN, that is NEA Health Information Network, their website leads people and teens to other organizations' websites, like Planned Parenthood, for instance. NEA was on the support list for the so-called March for Women's Lives. The New Jersey NEA affiliate sent 2 buses of members to that event, a march which supported legalized abortion and where there were vulgar signs like, excuse me, like F the Pope, and scurrilous use of President Bush's name, sexually provocative costumes, and lewd behavior. NEA partners with liberal groups that stand for far-left causes, including abortion on demand. For a list of these groups that NEA ties in with and some that NEA contributes members' dues dollars to, just ask for my email address later. And I'll send you NEA expenditure list from 4 recent years. Just a few of these organizations are America Votes. NEA gave them $1.5 million last year. People for the American Way, sounds good, but it just sponsors all kinds of liberal things. Democratic Gain, the Tides Foundation, that's not the soap company, Acorn, Emily's List, the Wish List, and many others. NEA has worked alongside Planned Parenthood, NARAL, the National Abortion Rights Action League, the Feminist Majority Foundation, as you heard, and NOW, in getting their candidates into office. NEA supports liberal, almost always pro-abort candidates, and can even use members' dues dollars to promote these candidates in in-house publications and mailings. Okay, hold on to something, folks, because what I'm going to tell you now is fact. You support the advancement of the abortion mentality through the NEA. Maybe I should qualify that and say you might. Yes, you heard right. If you live in an NEA school district, you pay the teachers' salaries with your tax dollars, and their NEA dues come directly out of their salaries. So you, with your tax dollars, whether you like it or not, are contributing to the abortion mentality in the United States today. What can you do? Tell family members and friends who are members of NEA that they can't say they're pro-life if they belong to the NEA Teachers Union. If the union policies contradict the person's faith beliefs, tell them to seek a religious accommodation. If they insist that they must stay in the union, then say, provide an alternative. Tell them to get elected as a delegate and then fight for life from within. Be brave, folks. Tell NEA members that you are pro-life and you do not want to have your tax dollars used by their union to support so-called reproductive freedom, which again includes the ungodly choice to have a baby come out alive or dead. Tell them you do not want your tax dollars sifted to candidates who support the dismemberment of preborns. Speak with your tax dollars. Refuse to support a school levy for an NEA school district until the school district pulls out of the NEA. Some school districts in Ohio are pulling out of the NEA and forming independent locals, which are more in tune with their community's values. And if you could distribute those at this point to anybody who wants. I have some flyers that point out specifically what the Bible says about the sanctity of human life and what NEA says in their documents. The last 2 years of my own teaching career, I became a religious accommodee, so that most of my annual $710 of annual dues went, instead of to the state and national unions, to an agreed upon charity. My pro-life convictions and my growing faith in Jesus Christ no longer allowed me to pay dues dollars to an organization that justified elective abortions. If you know pro-life teachers of faith who will want out of the NEA after receiving today's information that you pass on to them, let me know, and I'll see to it that they receive steps to follow in pulling their money and your tax dollars out of the NEA union. Thank you.